I wanted to ask about nutrition, and I'm going to
Mm.
ask in this context because
Yes.
your routine is not set in stone, or it's changing all the time. And I think it's easier if you have,
Mhm.
the same schedule every day, because then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to have that meal at that time. I'm going to go to bed at that time. So it's easier. So how do you go about food habits in
Mhm.
this schedule that is not that stable? Because it's, as I said, it's much easier if things are more or less repetitive. And in your case, it's not like that. So can you take us through that?
Yes, and sometimes it's what I say to my clients is like, do what I say, don't do what I do, because it's extremely hard for someone like me, also with someone with ADHD, that I forget to eat sometimes, which is not good. I'm the kind of person that also I like that chaos of not having a schedule, but I need a routine. So it's different
Mm,
from having a schedule and having a routine. I do need a routine. And that routine, especially with food and exercise, that needs to be there. If it's not there, it just uh, it just goes in a snowball, which makes it worse, and it makes me feel terrible because then
mm,
I don't feel with energy, and then I cannot do the work I do. So with that, I try to be a little bit more committed. I mean, just doing like meal preps at least. Here, I mean, in Thailand, I barely cook actually. So at least I always try to order at the same time, my meals and for them to deliver to me. And at least having protein shakes, fruits, things that for me I can snack all the time because I'm that kind of person. So my advice is like we need to know ourselves first to adapt. That's why I
yeah.
need to, when I have a client, I need to know them. Like, what's your schedule? How is your relationship with food? Why you do this? Why you don't do this? Because I want to make something sustainable. So for me, at the end of the day, it's about sustainability. So if you're telling me that you cannot eat the whole day for some reason, at least as long as you fit your calories during the day in order for you to live,
Mm,
your body repairs, you have a good sleep, and then depending on your goal, if you want to lose weight or gain, at least if you can, at the end of the day, if you can put that, I don't mind how you divide those meals.
mm,
Just eat. And that's sometimes what I do to myself. It's like, for some people that don't have time or have like a busy schedule, as long as they can fit those calories they need throughout the day, it doesn't matter what time they eat. Just do it.
yeah.
If it's someone that it's easier for them to have and go with the Tupperwares, the
Yes.
food boxes everywhere, and have already prepared, that's even better. I did that myself also, and that was awesome. But that I also had less things to do at that time. And it was easier to prepare all the meals and everything. Right now, it's a
Mm,
lot of things in my head, so it's just easier to go on the phone and just order the food.
yeah.
Otherwise, I will forget to eat, and that's not good. And that's I don't recommend.
So I think people have this question in mind, at least I have it myself. What's more important, exercise or nutrition? Or how do you split, let's say, the percentage between relevance? Is it
Yes.
50-50, or please don't say 50-50, because that's a very easy answer.
No, actually, it's never 50-50. I would say
Mm,
for me, 80% at least it's food. What you eat is what
mm,
makes you. That
mm,
right there. It's your energy. Even for sleep, you need food. Someone that doesn't eat properly most probably will have problems sleeping with insomnia, which can later lead to forgot the word, but like chronic
dementia.
insomnia and
Yes,
dementia.
yes,
Yes, problems,
yes.
fog, thoughts. So that is something that food needs to come in first place in order for you to actually work out, because workout, it's if we actually see what's workout, it's just moving. So if you
Yes.
walk, you're working out. If you're putting the trash, you're working out. If you're going shopping, if what you buy is heavy, as long as you do the correct way so to not hurt your back, you are it's like you're lifting. So it's a workout. As long as you're moving. I mean, there's gravity on this earth.
Mm.
Uh, so even your body weight, you're still exercising. So you just do a few jumps in the kitchen, you're exercising. So what I mean is like it's important, of course. I mean,
Mm.
we as species, we are meant to move. And I also say that to myself. And I bought not long time ago also a treadmill because even though I'm a sports person, sometimes I stay too long on the computer and
Mm.
I need to put my watch saying like stand up just
Yes.
for me to move. Um, so that's something that's why I say I think would be, you know, 80% or 70, let's just say 70 or 80% nutrition, and the rest I would divide between rest and exercise. Because also if you don't rest enough, you will not have the gains for exercise at all, or you don't have the motivation, or and also the opposite. The more you train, the more you need to rest to
Yes.
repair your body. So it's like it's all connected. But first you need
Yeah.
to have the energy, you need to have your meals ready. You need to have your micronutrients because sometimes people forget a little bit of that.
What is a
Uh,
micronutrient? Sorry, I'm not that
no
familiar with those
problem.
things.
So macros, macros we call it. So the carbs, fats, and proteins. And
Mm.
micronutrients is everything outside that. So vitamins, minerals,
Mm.
everything that it's micro but still essential to life. So we cannot forget that. So sometimes, and in my area, for example, right now in bodybuilding, um, that's why athletes, especially the ones that do it naturally, they need the prep needs to be quite long and spaced for the body to adjust because it cannot be sudden. Because when you cut water, when you cut fats and carbs to go uh, your levels of body fat so low on your body, it can have some repercussions. So it needs to be like, you know, the person needs to know what they're doing because our
Yeah.
heart is a muscle. We need those micronutrients, we need electrolytes. So if you do a sudden break from water, to try to shred and be dry, you actually might lead to a heart attack because you will have those electrolytes missing. So it's complicated, and sometimes people don't understand that. They don't
Yeah.
know how important that is. It's like going for a marathon and not prepare on your pocket little
Yes.
things for you to take during your marathon. Otherwise you reach like 10K, not even half marathon, and you're already cramping
Mm.
because through the sweat you're losing electrolytes. So that's um a lot of things that if someone wants to go, like especially into becoming a professional sports person, they need to learn about nutrition. That's why I say for me 80% easy nutrition.
Yeah, it's a big discrepancy. And
Mm,
even on those 20-30% of exercise, you said that part of it is
yeah.
rest. Were you
Yes,
referring to sleep?
definitely. Yes, sleep, it's when your body really resets, let's just say, even though
Mm.
our brain is not 100% sleeping, right? But it's kind of like giving the command to repair our cells, our muscles. So for us, and I'll give the example of bodybuilding as well, that most athletes are trying to gain more muscle mass. So basically, on the workouts, you are destroying your fibers in order for them to grow. So I'm putting
Mm.
this like in very simple ways. So when you work out and you feel that soreness, it's just basically your muscle is quite damaged. So if you don't eat properly and if you don't have those nutrients to go and repair that muscle, that already it's not going to happen. That's why you don't grow. And when that situation happens, it's when you sleep. Of course, there's still during the day, of course. I mean, it's not that it's automatically you sleep and it's that process, but
Yes.
most of it, it's when we rest, it's when we sleep, it's when we allowing our body to fully relax, that
Mm,
it comes like the little guys inside us and it's like, okay,
mm.
let's rebuild this muscle and maybe add some new more fibers to grow up the